Hi everyone, welcome back to my garden. So video today, I just want to share with you how I grow raspberry in a tub or in container. It's raining at the moment, by the way. It's been raining since the morning and suppose more rain tonight as well. But anyway, I just thought I'd go out here to film the video to share with you. So, do you know if you don't have enough space, you can grow them in the container. But you know, look at that, it goes quite large even in container. But if like some of you, example like me, I don't want the runner go everywhere, so that's why I grow them in the tub or in container as well. I got both different like type. Like this is in the container and that one in the tub. Look at that. And so let me show you. You know, even they grow them in the container like this, and if you feed them well, water them well, and they still produce so many the fruit or the berries. Example, this one. Look at it. Look at that. So many berries. I need to pick them though before the bird come to eat them. They already come to nibble some of this, but I don't mind it. They can have some because I have a lot anyway. And look at it. Long cane and footing from the top right down near to at the end of the cane. Look at that. And there are so many over there. It's very heavy. I think the weight of the water kind of put on the cane, so that's why they're quite leaning on over. But I need to tie them up though, because down over there I got several row bushes there. I put a little row bush thing. I mean the cane it cover. I mean shade the bush so much, you know. But I will, after I harvesting the cane, I will try to pull them down a little bit so the rows have more sun. Raspberries are a very hungry group of plants, especially if you grow them in a container, and always have to keep them moist and make sure you feed them as well. So I know when I plant this little cane, I planted them in very good potting mix, and I add some some compost in there, my homemade compost. Some of the top I add some mushroom compost though, because I'm running out of the compost. And I did water, or I do water them very regularly. It depends on the weather. In the hot summer day, I mostly water the container or the tub like this every second day. And I mentioned they're very thirsty plants. So if you don't water them, that means their flower or their berry just shrivel and die down. So if you want the berry, make sure you keep them moist. So don't let them to dry out. And I just noticed that, I mean, I can see the size of the tub. So this tub is quite large, you know, but this container is much bigger. This one is 100 liter, and this one I think just 75 liter. And I got a lot of canes in this tub as well. So I find that this tub, that some of the cane, their leaves a little bit yellowing. I think it's a lack of nutrients. So if you want to grow them in the tub or in container, or try to find the largest tubs or container that you can afford, because you know normally they multiply very quick and they're very hungry plants. And I do throw some nice snow wreath fertilizer, either like rose fertilizer or citrus fertilizer, whatever I have on hand. That's true or a few handfuls or 2 or 3, and after that they just have fruits go on through the whole season actually, because the slow release fertilizer, they just like each time they just dilute a little bit when you water the plants or when you got the rain. And make sure you place your raspberry in the full sun position, 8 hours direct of sunlight. Otherwise your raspberry still growing well, but they won't get the berries won't get as sweet as they should be. The area I got over here, they got full sun in the morning sunshine until 7 or 7:30 in the evening. You know, it depends on the type that you grow. So I got 2 varieties of the raspberry. This variety, I believe this is Herritage variety, very reliable raspberry. And the berry often beige and very juicy and very sweet as well. So I normally I got 2 crops out of the Herritage variety actually. Let me shrink you to the other corner and maybe I will explain to you a little bit better. Alright, so I'm on the other side of the garden now. So over here I got 2 tubs, and let me show you. So example, some of the cane here that they starting to die down. I need to trim them though, because this cane that they already fruit last year, they were much taller than this over here. And after that, they finish fruiting, and I just wait until like late winter, and I just pull them down to the area that they finish fruiting, and just pull that just above the area that they didn't fruit last year. So on the area that they didn't fruit last year, they fruit again this year, or they fruit this year actually. So all of this, they already produce berries in early spring. So now they just only just finished, and I just need to come around and to trim all the yellowing and like brown cane off like this, because they run out of energy. So I have quite a bit, that area there. I need to trim them down. This area over here as well. Some of the cane, like all of this, they all finished fruiting, so they all were like much taller than this. I just pull the cane down in late winter, early spring, and all the area that they didn't fruit last year, all the area underneath it, and after that they fruit early this spring. I hope that makes sense. Example, this one, this cane over here. So all of this, they are fruiting now, right? You can see they are all fruiting now. I'm sorry, it's raining very hard at the moment. And after that, they're fruiting until the winter. And I just leave the cane on the bush actually. I just pull it down. You can see this one still have flower, right? So I just pull it down, right down here, the area that they didn't fruit. And all of the area here, they will sending out the new shoots, and they produce the berry next year. So normally, I just kind of do half a pruning, like that way, just pruning down on the top of the area that finished fruiting, and the other half, I just pull it all the way down to the ground of the bush, on the ground of the bush actually. So all of that, on the area that I prune on the ground, they will send out the new cane, and the new cane, they are fruiting now. So that means I will have an earlier fruiting of the canes, and after that I got more crop that fruiting now. I hope that makes sense. But if you don't prune like the way I prune, you just prune all the way down on the ground in late winter and early spring, and they're sending out the new shoot, new canes, and there's berry. They could berry the berries in this time of the year. So we are kind of like in mid summer now. So normally, if you just prune that way, you could have like big berry, big crops, because the bush doesn't waste the energy to support the first crop. So normally my first crop, they got berries, but the berry often is much smaller than all the berry in the main crop. I hope they understand. So this tub, so one tip I want to show you though. So this tub, before they were in the other side, the other corner over there of my garden, and after that I moved them over here in I think in early spring. It's the time that I try to organize my garden, and after that, during the time 2 years in that corner over there, and their roots they already penetrate down to the on the ground actually over there. And after that, when I move the tub here, and after that, those roots underneath there, or underneath the tub, they try to rejuvenating, and after that, so many little babies they try to reach into the garden bed over there of my yard, and after that I have a very hard time trying to get rid of them. So if you grow them in the container or in the tub, if you know where you want them, just leave them there. Don't move them. So you just let their roots going down to the soil, and then you have no problem with their runner going out. But if you move them, or just move them a little bit, and after that, they can start sending the baby out. So to the area maybe you don't want. So Another way that if you want, their runner not going down into the soil or run everywhere, you can just, lift the container up or the top to put the bricks or something in between the soil so their root can go down into the soil. But for me, I feel better if I let their root going down to the soil because that's why I can keep the top much, moist much longer. So I have, I don't have to water the tops much frequent like the other container. Example over here, this top I moved them this year, so that means I have to water it in the summer every day actually. But the top over here, let me swing over here to you. The top over here, I got raspberry in the top for 3 years now, and they are root very much like in the ground actually, going deep in the ground over there. So this area of my raspberry in the top here, I normally have to water the container maybe every 3 days, so they stay much moisture. Unlike the other one, if I don't water it every day, the plant or the cane just wilting. So that's another tip I want to let you know. And you can see the top here, I haven't moved them, and for the past 3 years, I haven't had to move the runner or anything at all. Oh, by the way, this is different variety. This is, I think, autumn Bliss. And normally, this variety, they produce a berry earlier than the Herritage variety. But some year, they produce at the same time. I don't know, maybe just we are aware that we got this season. But one thing, though, I have to confess, because this top, they in here for 3 years, but of course, because their roots can't really 100% go deep down into the garden or into the soil and to take the nutrients. I do feed them, but I still feel saying that they not as flush or as fresh and lush like the container I show you right at the beginning of the video, because those container in the top I planted them just a few months ago, was like at the beginning of the spring. So I think at some point I might have to take the container out though. Oh, that could be scary because I just don't want the runner go everywhere. Just kind some after maybe a few years, I think I'm gonna refresh it, rejuvenate it. But this year I still keep it here. Maybe next year I will do that and see how it goes. But you can see that means they still produce a lot of berries, a lot of fruit on. But I just feel like the bush a little bit tired, so I think maybe I will take it out to do something with that next year. Oh, by the way, I think not all the variety of the raspberry that will work like the way the Herritage variety works, because this is autumn Bliss variety, and I did try to prune like the way I prune my Herritage variety, and it didn't work. So last winter, early spring, I did prune it like some of the cane all the way down to at the base, and some of the cane just prune off cut it down the area that finished fruiting last year, and I just left it like that, like the same for Herritage variety. And this spring, of course, it did have only few berries, but not much at all. It's not much like the Herritage variety. So so sometimes you just have to know what variety you are growing. Maybe you just do some research about that as well. And if you don't know the variety that you are growing and you're not sure when they are fruiting, and you just sit back there and wait, and you see, when they are fruiting, maybe you can try, you put some of this off, and maybe you left some of it on. So that's why later on you can determine that which type of method pruning that works best for you. But anyway, I think that is for the video today. I hope that you enjoy the talk when I talk with you about how I grow raspberry and how I care for them, or how I trim them to have a second crop of the season. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye bye.